Take
What's
it away.
up? What's up, everybody? Aaron and Paige here, back on the podcast. Episode number 6. Can't believe it's already episode 6, to be honest with you.
Me neither.
Part 2 of our 2-part series of our cottage vacation. If you didn't listen to that before, obviously go back and listen to that one. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll link a link for the video up in the corner over here. So yeah, we're just going to talk about the second half of our vacation, which was at a Airbnb cottage in Huntsville, Ontario. Paige can start us off and we can kind of go from there.
Just like brief recap of what the week looked like. So we left, having a huge brain fart right now. We left Killarney Lodge on Sunday afternoon after lunch.
We didn't go right away. We
went for a hike with my parents and then headed towards Huntsville. We were able to get checked in to the Airbnb and then drove into town to get groceries and whatnot. Honestly, well, we can get into this after, but basically, once we got checked in, that was Sunday. And the rest of the week, we basically just spent hanging out at the cottage. We went into town every day, either for groceries, to hang out. My sister and her family live in Huntsville, so we drove into town to see them, take Addie to the park, do some shopping on the main street there for like more touristy type things. And we went out for dinner only the once, I think, right?
Yeah, for your birthday.
We went out for breakfast the day of my birthday. We went out for dinner the day of my birthday. But other than that, we ate pretty well. Every meal was either like a picnic or we ate at the cottage. And then we basically just spent the week, shopping, playing at the park, playing on the property. It was a huge property with a play structure.
I think the width of the property, I think I read somewhere, was 160 feet, like the width.
Yeah.
Not the length. So it was pretty large that way. And then it was, I want to say almost probably half a kilometer from the front of the, maybe even bigger, to be honest with you.
I don't think it would be bigger, but
it was pretty big from the front of the cottage to the end of the dock. It was big. Was pretty big.
But so we basically just we went swimming almost every day. We played either at the park or on the play structure in the backyard almost every day. We watched a Harry Potter movie every day. Yeah. It really was just like relaxing. Yeah, and then, like I said, we went into town every day either to hit up the grocery store, go to the park, to do something every day. So that was kind of like super brief overview of what the week looked like. Mm-hmm. But kind of back to the beginning. When we got there on the Sunday night, I was tuckered out. I was ready to just...
It was a long day.
Yeah.
We packed up in the one cottage and then basically we didn't really have any sort of we were having naps and stuff like that during the day, right? So we get up early, go to breakfast, get everything packed up.
Yeah.
And then hiked. And then we ended up getting in there, dropping stuff off really quickly, and then going to get groceries. And it was literally by the end of the day, it was oh.
Yeah. So, Sunday, I was just tuckered out. I was just ready to get to the cottage and I was tempted to just be let's just pick up something and just call it a night.
Yeah.
But we had to go into town because the Airbnb did not provide bed sheets.
Yes.
So they did not provide towels, did not provide bed sheets, which was fine. It was a beautiful property. The cottage, both of us as we drove in said we were kind of expecting it to be I don't know, classic cottage, kind of old and whatever looking inside. And it was actually pretty modern. The kitchen was outdated, but otherwise it was pretty modern, very well kept.
Yes, very.
So it was nice, but they provided you with a duvet, but no bed sheets.
Yeah.
And so we had brought up our own towels, but we only have a queen size bed.
Yeah.
And they have king size beds. So we do have a trundle bed that does turn into a king, and we just always put 2 sets of twin size sheets on them. So we just decided we were just going to go into town, buy a set of king size sheets, and then have them for at home as well. So that was fine, but we didn't pack those ahead of time because we had enough junk packed to start. So we had to go into town to do a full grocery shop. Like, we might as well have just done a big grocery shop. So we did a full grocery shop, got the sheets, went back, still had to make beds, get the children fed.
Get stuff unpacked.
Mm-hmm. So it was a really busy day on Sunday, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
But like the rest of the week, I feel like...
It was kind of relaxed.
Yes.
I feel like.
The one thing I think I just struggle in general. I am like you have to get every ounce of an experience out of the experience.
Yeah.
So if you're staying at a cottage with a dock, with a beautiful water, you need to watch sunrise, sunset, be swimming off the dock, fishing. Like, you need to do everything humanly possible every day. Like, I want to squeeze every ounce of opportunity out of whatever experience I'm currently having. And on the Sunday night, when we were at Walmart picking up some groceries and just doing whatever, I mentally told myself that that was just not how I was going to live my week.
Yeah.
That I was just going to take it slow. I was not going to rush our children. If they wanted to spend longer doing something, we would. If they didn't want to do something, I wasn't going to push it. That I just wanted to sit back, relax, and like really get to like enjoy my children.
Yeah.
And you for the week. And I do feel like I did.
Yeah. You were actually pretty good about things.
Like, towards the end of the week, I think it was kind of like, I was kind of hoping we were going to get to hike a little bit, kind of hoping we were going to get to maybe do a little bit more swimming. And it wasn't that I felt like...
I feel like we have our camping trip in July, and I feel like that's when we're staying in the park for 10 days or whatnot on Algonquin Park. So we'll be doing probably a hike every day. We'll probably be going down to the beach every day.
100%.
So I wasn't worried that we didn't go on hikes. I did expect us to go on more hikes, to be honest with you. But I was thinking like, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more of this stuff like later on in the month. So
yeah. And I think for me, it was I did have the expectation, not because I felt like I needed to in order to live up to whatever, but it was more so like I enjoy doing those things.
Yeah.
So that part of me was a little bit like kind of bummed, but I think this was where I like gave myself a good reminder that I think I need to do more of, where it was just like that week that we spent at the cottage, I felt like I was much better about meeting our kids where they are at versus trying to fit in the things that I want to do, they want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was just like, because I even said to you, like, I'm a little disappointed that the TV got, like, before going, I was kind of prepping Addie, like, we're not watching TV. I didn't realize the cottage even had a TV, but I was like, we're not going to be watching TV. And then once I found out, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a
rainy day situation.
After dinner, right before bed, or like a rainy day situation. This isn't going to be like an everyday whatever. And it wasn't, but there was a couple days that we watched more than I would have liked. And at first I felt really bummed, like I wasn't like getting everything out of the experience that we should be getting, and that our kids weren't getting everything out of the experience that they should. But I think that's when I reminded myself that like Everett doesn't care. He actually gets more physical activity in when we are inside and doing that kind of thing, because I put him down for tummy time and play with him, and I let him roll around and do whatever. And
whereas if we're out, he's like,
carrier. If we're out, he's up in the carrier, which I mean does count towards, but like he's not rolling, he's not, and he almost always falls asleep in it. So I think it was just reminding myself that like for him, it's probably more fun to be inside where I can just lay him down and I lay with him and play with him, or have him laying on the couch and play with him. Like that for him is probably more fun than being out and about anyway.
Yeah.
And for Addie, like just for her overall mood and ability to take in the other fun things that we were doing, getting her back to the cottage for some wind down time and a nap was probably way more beneficial for her being able to enjoy her week than if we had kept pushing it and like doing naps on the go and things like that. Because I honestly think that was probably part of the problem at Killarney with the kids melting down at meal times, was because that was like one of the longer periods of like downtime, and they weren't able to just chill. Like they still needed to, you know.
Yeah, we're always on the go there.
So I do think from that standpoint, like it probably was helpful that we did kind of try to get Addie back most days for nap time at the cabin and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I think overall it went okay. I do think the whole TV thing was okay. Like, I don't think we over abused it and whatnot. And I do, well, you were saying something?
Well, I mean, we did watch a Harry Potter movie every day.
Yeah.
But it was like one Harry Potter movie. So that was the extent of the TV. So, I mean, I will give it, like, it wasn't like it was turned on and it just ran all day. Like, it really was, like...
His the love of Harry Potter, like her mom and her dad. So that's okay. It's not like a Coco Melon or something like that, which... Well... Whatever. Like, I'm fine with Harry Potter.
Yeah, if we're going to watch something, I'd rather see Harry Potter than a lot of other kids programs.
Just one video a day is not like a...
I know, it's not the end of the world. And reality is, like, she slept through a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
But I do just feel like, in my head, it was like we weren't going to have that much TV time. And that was the only thing where I was kind of like, oh. But then, yeah, just realizing that, like, in a couple years when our kids are old enough to sit and enjoy playing, like, a board game.
Yeah.
Or enjoy, you know, they don't need a nap. So they don't need to go back to have that, like, reset time. Then I feel like I could set my expectations differently.
Yeah.
But I think it was just realizing that, like,
for
this year, this trip, like, that was okay.
Yeah. This week, last week, kind of go with the flow was what our kids needed. I feel like what we needed, just to relax and whatnot. Like, we would usually go all the time. And it was nice to not rush, just wake up when we wanted to, and then say, hey, what do you think we should do? And obviously the air quality thing was not in our favor and the fire ban, so we didn't really get to do the whole fire pit thing, which hopefully we can do later in July, but who knows? Well, we still went outside and we still played and we still saw the cousins and your sister, 3 times that week?
More than that. So
certain cousins we got to see quite a bit throughout the week, and she got to play at the park, and which was nice. And I think, like,
I think we saw quick rundown. So the Sunday we arrived, Monday we actually drove back into Algonquin. And we got to go see my sister at work, and then, which was fun because we got to go do a quick little, I used to work in Algonquin too for multiple summers. So we got to bring Addie into the basement of the visitor center and show her
all the taxidermy.
Yeah, like the specimens that they have. And so we got to show her that kind of stuff, which is fun because obviously that's not like an experience that everybody that goes gets to see. And we were able to like actually slowly walk through the visitor center and let her see everything. And then we did picnic, lunch, beach, back home. We did laundry at my sister's house that day also. So we got to see the cousins that day.
That was one thing that the Cottage
also did not have.
Yes.
Which any other week, it totally would have been fine. The only reason it was a problem was just because moving to the Cottage for our week there was actually like just shy of the halfway point of the trip.
Yeah.
Like we were gone for a total of 12 days. So we were like already halfway through our trip by the time we made it to the Cottage. So like there was no way that I was packing enough clothing for
2 weeks, basically
3 people for 2 weeks, because it's not like I once my children don't eat their food on me, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like, I don't get out of a day without spit up or food or something on me. And if honestly,
with kids.
Can't blame it on the kids though, all of it, because if the kids don't spill something on me, I spill something on myself.
Yeah, you can't leave chicken anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and then Addie likes the full body experience of food and nature all over her. So,
yes, and Everett's just like a drooly guy, and he spits up. So there was no chance that I was packing 2 weeks worth of clothes for me and 2 children. So we were able to go to my sister's house, and we used her washing machine, and my brother-in-law was a little angel and switched it all over for us and hung our stuff that needed to be hung, and probably paid more attention to what needed to happen with that laundry than I would have if I'd been the one that switched it over. But yeah, so we did get to see the cousins and everything that day. Tuesday we had a pretty slow day. Yeah. And we just met up with my brother and my nephew at the park.
Yeah, how was that?
Wednesday, I think we just hung out and did ice cream with them in the evening. That was the solstice.
A little Huntsville festival going on as well when we were at the park there. So
well, I think it was Indigenous Peoples Day.
It was Indigenous Peoples Day, so they were having a little festival there. So.
Yeah. We got to do that and take the kids for ice cream. Thursday, I think, was one of the days that we did not go swimming. Or was it? I actually don't remember. And then Friday was my birthday. Friday we did not go swimming. Friday we went into town for breakfast, meandered through town, did some shopping.
Yeah. You want to check all this out? There's a vlog video on our YouTube page that I could link up here if you're watching.
And then we did dinner with my sister's crew. I did not realize that dinner lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, it was like a 3-hour dinner.
Yeah.
It was 3 hours.
Like we met up at 5:30 and we didn't leave until 8.
It didn't seem like 3 hours.
It didn't seem like it would. We were there for a long time.
Food was good.
Yeah.
They ate too much.
And then Saturday was a little bit of a bummer. We tried. The effort was there. We did spend the whole day with my sister, which was awesome. I feel like I have not had that much time with my sister or her family in years.
Yeah.
Years.
That was the day that it rained, right?
That was the day that every time we went outside, it rained.
Yeah.
So my sister had gathered her crew and they got to the beach and it looked like gray, but okay. We showed up and it started pouring. So we left.
We basically brought the rain every time wherever we went. So.
Yeah. And then we got back to my sister's. We ended up playing there most of the day, decided to take the kids for ice cream again. And we literally got the ice cream, went to sit down at a picnic table, started pouring.
Torrential downpour.
So it was like every time we made the effort to go outside, it started raining again. Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. And then, we did the drive home on Sunday. We were able to stop and see
your parents in Barrie.
We got to stop off and see my parents in Barrie for a quick little visit. We were there with them for less than an hour, just over an hour, I guess. And then we drove down to Scarborough and saw
my parents.
Aaron's parents. Got to stay there for a couple hours, which was nice.
Yeah, which our plans got screwed up this week because of the weather.
They were supposed to. We were supposed to stop and spend time with my parents and then continue on home, and then see Aaron's parents this week. But his mom fell and broke her arm on the TTC. Yeah,
so
on Thursday. So
and she's still waiting to have surgery. So
yes,
it's kind of a quiet week here, which is nice. It's kind of upsetting for Addie because obviously we kept prepping her the entire week that, we're going to see
we were
grandma
just
and pops
pumping her up
like that,
about the fact that we were going to finish our vacation, go home and hang out with grandma and pops.
Yeah. Which we don't know, like she might have her surgery and then she might come down here and then just kind of rest up down here depending on what happens. But,
I'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, the week was good. And like I was saying before, like it was nice to kind of wake up, slowly do our thing, not be rushed about anything, and then get our day going. And like we had to do Everett stretches at 6 a.m. and then Addie would normally wake up around anywhere between 6:30 to 7:30 anyway, so we were up pretty early. And because of that, we didn't really rush. And then by the time we got out the house, it was like 9 o'clock, which was still early in the morning, which was nice.
I felt like we were able to fill our days with enough. I will say that, like, after doing this vacation with the kids, I wish we would have done a vacation as a family with Addie.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was interesting to me because while we were there, I had the thought of, if we can be this slow up here, like we can just slow things down, not feel rushed, let the kids guide what to do and when, like within reason. Why can't we be doing that at home? Because you're off right now, I'm off right now. Like,
yeah.
But it's weird that it was like, it really was like a switch of like, as soon as we were like packing up the car to go home, it was just like the mindset like shifted.
Yeah, you got to get back into a routine.
It wasn't even about getting back to a routine, but it was like, okay, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to be out by 10, we want to make sure that we get to Barrie by this time so that we can do the stretches at this time. We got
to leave by this time to get home.
Yeah.
Do the stretches again.
Exactly. So it was like, I mean, I guess I know why the shift happened, but it was like, I did have this thought halfway through the week of like, why does this feel so easy to take things so slow and just go with the flow this week? And it feels so impossible at home. But it really was like something just switched.
Yeah.
As we were packing up to leave. But I feel like during the week that we were there, overall, I feel like we were way more intentional with our time, both with the kids and with each other.
Yeah.
And so I feel like having that time with after Addie had been born potentially would have helped that,
Yeah.
I don't know, just like reconnect after bringing a whole new person into the family. And I feel it would have been so helpful after her, but like it was...
Obviously, it was a different time.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think in the future, like, I would definitely want to try to do a vacation as a family within a certain time frame of bringing a baby home. Because I do feel like it's so easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of just everyday life and routines at home. And then when you take the home environment out, even if you're still doing like a lot of the same kind of things, like, like still need to feed the baby every couple hours, still need to get the kids down for their naps, still need to feed them 3 meals a day plus snacks, still need to grocery shop. So like we still needed to do so much of our regular stuff, but it was just like, I don't know, it just felt like we were so much better about just like slowing down and enjoying them and each other. It just felt so good.
Yeah.
So, after traveling with our children for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was actually really, like I said, it was really good. I think if we end up not doing the Killarney thing next year, I think that definitely doing an Airbnb cottage situation like this year, maybe looking into a different one, maybe stay at the same one, look into it. But I think that it will be potentially a better option.
Yeah.
I think we'll obviously have to reevaluate, but I think it'll be a better option. We could also potentially invite the grandparents up when we're there next time. And I don't know, something a little bit different, but I liked the whole experience while we were there, and just being so close to Huntsville and getting to utilize everything up there, like the beaches. Like I've never been to that Hutchison beach before.
No, me neither.
It was actually a really good beach.
I don't know that I've ever gone swimming in Arrowhead before either.
Yeah, Arrowhead Beach, because it was middle of the week and obviously school's still in.
It was great.
It was dead, and we had basically the entire beach to ourselves, which was...
There was like a young couple probably trying to have a nice romantic time together, and our children were just probably ruining it.
Yeah,
but
they were just like,
it was great for us.
Yeah. They probably weren't ready for children yet, and whatever.
Gave them a good dose of birth control.
Yeah, whatever ideas they had, it went down the pooper.
But yeah, it was really nice, and it was very like quiet. Yeah. But Like tips and tricks for traveling with kids. What do you think?
Oh, I would say time it like we're like what we were doing, like timing out like around naps or whatnot to kind of get them down, especially like a newborn baby situation. Everett's really good with. He's been really good with the car ever since he was born. Really.
Yeah, he can nap on the go. He really can.
Addie, I feel like this trip had a little bit more.
She's just getting to the hard age, though.
Yeah, so she'll sleep when she does sleep. Like when she gets down to sleep, she'll be out for a couple hours, which was nice. So, but we don't. What we normally do is we don't normally have an iPad or tablet in the house or whatnot. So we usually pre-download some like Disney movies or whatnot, or some Mickey Mouse, which she usually likes. And when she's having a trouble time sleeping or she's kind of whining a little bit that she's tired, I feel like we kind of give her the
in the car, you mean?
Yeah, in the car, give her the
if she's having trouble just like
she like literally chills out. Her mind kind of turns off. She goes into that parasympathetic mode, and within an hour she's down. Within that hour, I would imagine.
Yeah, but we didn't give her the iPad all week.
On the travel home, yeah.
On the travel home, yeah.
I'm talking about traveling and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Like the actual drive. Okay.
Yeah. But traveling and just like being with kids throughout the week, obviously you got to do you're saying like the stuff that you need to do, feed the kids or whatnot. But I feel like going with the flow and not getting too upset when things don't go your way, or kind of do what the kids want to do, but also pepper and stuff that you want to do.
Yeah. Well. I was just going to say, I think.
But have, like you were saying, like winding down the end of the day, maybe letting Addie watch a Harry Potter movie might help her out with the next day of kind of going on a hike or going on something that she really doesn't want to do. I don't know.
She likes going for walks though. Yeah. So like, I don't really think that there was anything that we did this week or last week that it wasn't really something she enjoys doing. Yeah. I think it's more about like the transitions. She has a hard time leaving like a play date with her cousin to go eat lunch.
And sort of goodbye when she's having fun. It might, like, even when we were leaving the cottage, she was a little upset.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't do well with goodbyes or stuff that kind of ends the
end of something. Yeah. So I think for her, it's like the transitions that she struggles with. But I think this is just honestly probably the travel advice that I'm going to try to like continue to give myself every time we travel with our kids. Is if you want it to feel even slightly relaxing as a parent, is to just figure out where your kids are at and meet them there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like each day, if I said, oh, I would really like to go into town to do this, or I want to meet up with my sister's family for ice cream, I want to do, like, each day there was typically something that I was like, I want to go to the beach. There were things that we were able to say like, hey, this is what we want to do today. But I think it was just like figuring out where the kids were at and timing out, does it work to go to the beach in the morning or do we need to do that in the afternoon?
Yeah.
And so just like meeting your kids where they're at and really just deciding to just let them guide it. Because with Addie, playing at the beach until she was like, yep, I'm done, I'm ready to leave.
Yeah.
It made leaving so much easier. And like, you're on vacation, what are you in a rush to do? Like, unless you have to meet people at a certain time or you have a reservation, like, unless you were in a situation like that, what is the hurry?
Yeah.
And so I think just like meeting her with where she was and kind of letting her guide, like some days she was done at the beach within half an hour, 40 minutes. Other days we were at the beach for 3 hours. So I really think just like taking advantage of being like if the beach was something I wanted to do that day, we made it to the beach, taking advantage of the beach while we were there. But then once she was ready to leave, just, okay, we're done. Yeah. And obviously that might get harder as our kids get older and they might have conflicting things that they want. But I think overall, not trying to push our agenda or, like at home, we'll take her to the park after daycare.
Yeah.
And there's a timeline on it. Like, we're there for an hour because then we have to get home. We have to make dinner. We have to. But it was like, it's vacation. It doesn't matter if she goes to bed half an hour later. It doesn't matter if she's up 2 hours later. Like, we'll get back on our we have a very loose schedule anyway, but we'll get back into our normal routine in our schedules once we're home.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of having pretty low expectations, like picking maybe one thing a day that I was hoping to get done and hoping to get to it, and then just really letting the vibe of the day just take over with how long we went somewhere, whether it was the kind of day that needed a picnic lunch, whether it was the kind of day that needed us to come back and do a nice lunch, part of a movie while we wound down for nap time, whether we were going to sit and read the same book 18 times before nap, just kind of whatever. And I feel like by kind of meeting the kids where they were at and letting them enjoy their holidays, even if we didn't get to 100% of the things I wanted to do, I enjoyed my week way more than I would have had I been like pushing the things that I wanted to do. And at the end of the day, we did the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
We just didn't maybe hit 100% of them. Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Yeah. And I think this past week, I've been thinking more we're both very involved parents, I would say. And I was listening to an interview recently about how your kids, you have I don't know, before they become teenagers, you're their number one friend.
I just saw this. It was 10 years. You have 10 years where you're your kid's number one.
And I heard that interview or somewhat of an interview a week or two ago. And I was like, I'm going to be more present. I would like to be more present because in 10 years from now, they're gonna have other friends. They're not gonna want to hang out with mom and dad. We'll go to the cottage and they'll probably have friends that they want to bring up and want to do things with them. So being more present and just taking our time with our kids and making sure they're happy and we're just kind of being there, playing with them. I think that was important, and that I'm kind of focusing more on that as a parent, and that this week kind of let me do that.
Yeah, well, and this ties into the meeting your kids where you're at, because in another 5 years or another 10 years, our kids will be at the age where they might be more inclined to want to spend however many hours jumping off the dock instead of playing at the beach and whatever. And so the way that we vacation is going to shift. It's going to shift every year for the first few years while our kids are super young and they have such huge shifts in what they're able and capable of doing. So there's going to be huge shifts over the next couple years, but even after that, once it's a little bit more stable in what they're looking to do and that kind of thing, over time the way we vacation is going to shift. And one day we're going to get to the point where we will be back to going on vacations, just the two of us. Mm-hmm. And on those vacations, if all we want to do is hike and swim and do whatever, we're going to be back to having our vacation on our timeline.
Yeah.
And so, in another 5 years when our, Addie can read, in another 10 years when both kids can read, these things are going to change. And then it's going to be easier to shift, away from watching a movie and into reading or playing board games or doing and just realizing even when we're at home, it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Because you're right. We need to enjoy our kids with where we're at right now and where they're at right now. And, in another 10 years, it's going to be way easier to, well, maybe not 10, maybe a little more than that. 13, 15 years. Like, we're going to get to a point where the house is not a total disaster because we've eaten one meal at the table.
Yeah.
And there won't be kids' toys scattered everywhere. Like, it's just, I think it's so easy to feel cluttered.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that when the house is cluttered, my mind feels cluttered. Mm-hmm. In order for me to feel like focused, I need a clean space. And that is something that obviously when it was the two of us, it was so easy.
Yeah.
And now with kids, it's just not. There's literally toys everywhere.
Sometimes it does feel frustrating that it's happening. Like you clean up and then literally 5 minutes after Addie gets home, everything's dirty. She's having...
You like steam mopped the floors a couple of weeks ago, and then I was baking with her and she dropped flour all over the floor. And in my head, I was just like, poor Aaron, just spend how much time cleaning these floors for us to drop flour all over it. And it's like part of my mind went there, but then the other part of me was like, give her another year or two and she won't even be dropping flour like that.
We get frustrated, we kind of feel upset when that happens, but there's gonna be a point where we
miss it.
Yeah. We're gonna be like, I wish that Addie dropped.
I know. I think
flour on the floor. She was eating chocolate at the table and got it on the thing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a point where they're not here anymore, and it's going to be...
I was thinking about that last week while we were away, actually. Like, even just the thought of, like... Because, I mean, this Airbnb did have a bath, but, like, we didn't have a bath seat forever. That obviously was not something I was going to prioritize packing, so we just did showers with the kids. In another couple of years, like, our kids are just going to be able to shower themselves.
Yeah.
And so, like, even just, like, the smallest things like that, where it's, like, I feel ready to not have to argue about bath versus shower or just cleaning ourselves in general. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm ready to not have those fights, but at the same time, it's, like, I already know that those are going to be things that, like...
You're going to miss.
Yeah, like, our kids need us for everything. And I feel like that's one of those things... Being like 100% of what your kid needs is like the most overwhelming and wonderful feeling in the world.
Yeah.
This was like when you were trying to get the kids loaded up, or like whenever it was crying, and then I would go and look at him and he'd stop, and then I'd walk away and he'd start again. And it's one of those, like, I feel that way often when it's like both kids are crying for me, and it's like, I'm so grateful that I have these two beautiful children who just want to be loved on by their mom. Mm-hmm. Because that's honestly probably one of the greatest compliments they could pay me as my children is to want to be around me.
You feel secure. That's what I feel like.
And it's so wonderful to feel that, but it is so overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. And so, yeah, just that feeling of our kids need us for so much right now. And, like, it's going to be, like, and they won't need us.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was nice to have a week away, to slow things down.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely a lot of the focus was on the kids, which is okay. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like you and I got some time to chat and be together.
Yeah, it was nice. And then being able to celebrate your 30th birthday... just us, and obviously with your sister's family, and
yeah,
it was nice. It was, like I said, it wasn't hectic at all.
No,
the week, which was something that
I'm so grateful for.
Usually, our life is full of hecticness, and
it just feels like we're always rushing into the next thing.
Yeah.
And this week really felt like last week really felt like we were able to just step back and just like actually enjoy this phase that we're in. And I was so grateful for that.
Yeah.
It was a good birthday gift. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Yeah. So anyone that is thinking about doing this with their young kids, like
do it.
Said, just do it. And
I mean,
go with the flow, to be honest.
Go into it with the expectation that your kids are still going to be kids and you're still going to have some of the same problems that you have at home.
Yeah.
But like, just really convince yourself to have that shift in your mindset And it honestly...
Don't set your expectations too high.
Yeah.
Basically.
I feel like if you go into it with the whole goal of just getting to enjoy your children, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just so much. Even like singing Baby Beluga with the kids 8 million times last week. Like, it was just so much fun. And those are things that I'm going to remember forever. I do want to ask, do you think me losing Addie's fish is going to be a core memory that she will have to seek therapy for?
I don't think it'll be a core memory for her, but it might be a core memory for you.
I do think it's going to be a core memory.
Yeah.
Addie was like hot and heavy to go fishing. Like, she just wanted to try fishing so bad.
Mm.
So we were like, okay, we took her, we let her pick out a fishing rod, let her
nice frozen
pick out a
fishing rod.
a little
frozen.
tackle box. We got it all set up for her. She was so pumped to try it out. Aaron was showing her like how to cast, but like casting for a 2-year-old was really just like hitting the button and then reeling it back.
Yeah.
And me, being just a little show off, was like,
you're like, oh yeah.
Here, Addie, watch this.
And
I went to cast it out. And
I have no clue what happened.
Well, the line snapped, but I didn't realize. So it went so far out. And then as I'm winding it back, I was like, wait a minute. There's nothing here. The fishing line had snapped, and this fish, Aaron thought that it was a bobber.
I thought it was a bobber.
It was not a bobber. That baby sank to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
And we were fishing off the dock at the cottage, and it's not even like it's beach, and then it's like you have to go down steps because once you're on the, like, you're out in the lake.
Water, yeah.
It was deep. And Addie was like, I apologized. I told her, I said, listen, Mom made a mistake. I lost your fish. And then she would not let me lose it. Mom, you made a mistake. I was like, yeah, I know. So then I felt like it was like a good opportunity to teach her a life lesson. And I was like, listen, I'm going to try to fix my mistake right now.
You're not going to promise that you're going to get things.
And I said, I won't promise that I'm going to fix it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to fix my mistake. And I dove back into the water. Didn't find the fish. I knew I wasn't going to find the fish. I didn't really try that hard, if I'm going to be honest.
You swam around.
But then I promised her, I said, I'm going to fix this. And then I did take her back out to buy an actual bobber and some more fishing lures the next day or the day after. But oh my God, listening to her repeat over and over for like at least half an hour. Mom, you made a mistake. Mom, you made a mistake? Yeah, Mom, you made a mistake.
It's okay, like, Mom, you made a mistake.
I was like, yeah, I realize this, and this is truly something you're right, it is a core memory for me because I will never forget that.
Yeah.
I found it so funny, but I felt so guilty because she was just heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because every time she reeled in this little fish, oh, look, I caught a blue fish.
Yeah.
Then no more fish.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
That, and then realizing that she kept on not wanting to go to the car.
Oh my God, yeah, Addie, get in the car, and she kept whining about it, and I was just like, Addie, just get in the car. Like, it's not a big deal. Literally takes until day 5 to realize that
the driveway like got like sand, like made of sand. So like we're parked on sand, and she kept on doing this whining thing, and then all of a sudden, she's like, I don't want to walk on the sand.
She didn't want it on her feet.
Yeah, she wanted to get sand in her sandals and get it on her feet. So she's been whining for 5 days until she says something.
And we just kept being like, Addie, you're a big girl. Like, you can walk to the car. Just get in the car. And then finally...
That might be a core memory. Who knows?
Finally, she realized, or I realized, oh, she doesn't want the sand in her shoes. After that, no more fighting.
No. She's a funny little girl, that one.
And she is funny because her favorite thing to play with at the beach is the sand. But just anything in her shoes is just like a no-go, which I can't blame her.
She'll take it off. No, she doesn't care where she is. She'll take her shoe right off and kind of dump things out. Or if she has sandals on, she's at the park, she'll take her shoes right off and just kind of run in her bare feet because she doesn't want it stuck in her shoe or whatnot.
I mean, I don't blame her because actually having things stuck in your shoe is the most uncomfortable thing. But Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, the week was.
It was a success.
It was a success. And I would like to do it next year again.
I would like to do it too. Me too. One other thing, if you're gonna vacation where there's bugs.
Oh yeah, it was
what
bugs.
are those patches called? You can't sleep on.
We'll do a review on them.
Yeah.
We'll do a review.
These
mosquito
patches.
It was a kid's patch. Is this like a sticker with like?
You can get adult ones too. I was looking them up online.
Ones? I didn't know that, but like it had like happy faces and there was other.
They're like fun little stickers that the kids loved wearing.
Citronella on
and
it, right?
Yeah, they were like soaked or whatever in citronella, and
truly just put it on their
clothes closest to wherever they were exposed, like skin. So I always just put it close to their face.
Yeah, like here on their back.
And truly, I noticed mosquitoes around Everett 3 times. And those 3 times were the times that we were outside without them on.
Mm-hmm.
So
they don't work with black flies. They only work with mosquitoes.
Well, mosquitoes don't like citronella, but black flies don't find you based on your smell.
Yeah, they don't care. They'll go after you, which both the kids got eaten alive by black flies. So the cottage
was way less buggy at the cottage though. Yeah. So I don't know what it was about that.
Being in Algonquin Park, that was a little.
But it was like you're only an hour away. You're still in cottage country, but it was like the bug situation in Algonquin versus the bug situation in Huntsville was like night and day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I'm not complaining about because truly Everett had his eyes bit. Like at one point, both kids got their eyes bit. Yeah. And Addie would not let us rub that blood off of her. So she walked around all day with blood underneath her eye. Yeah. Everett had hit both of his eyes bit. He had both ears bit.
Addie was like from her hair all the way down her neck.
Yeah, the nape of her neck, right? That's what it's called. Yeah. Oh my God, it was just atrocious. So, I mean, I'm not complaining that the bugs were so much better in Huntsville. That was great, but it was like I did not expect that.
But those bug patches
do work great for mosquitoes.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll probably do a review on that thing, and you can check them out. I don't know where they sell at the local store here, but you could probably get them online somewhere.
Yeah.
So, those were awesome.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that sums up our part 2 of our cottage vacation here. So if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, obviously subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on what your summer vacations are this year, if you're going to be in a cottage or whatnot, and then if you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, obviously give us a 5-star review if you're liking what you're hearing, and make sure you subscribe to those channels as well. So it's a late night session again, so we're gonna head to bed.
No, we have to wake Everett up to do his stretches.
We have to wake up Everett to do his stretches and then go to bed.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this in the morning, have a good day. But if you're listening to this at night, have a good night, everyone. Take care.